Good day, everyone, and welcome to the UC Berkeley Engineering Leadership Professional Program info session. I'm Christina Susak. I'm the head of professional programs for the College of Engineering Center for Entrepreneurship and Tech. We're very excited that you've joined us today. And please remember, as the presentation continues, feel free to post any questions you have on LinkedIn and we'll be answering them. So why we're here today, you're going to learn how Engineering Leadership Professional Program accelerates engineers into strategic leaders. You'll hear real stories from our faculty and alumni, and you'll understand how the program works and whether it's a fit for you today. So we're very privileged to have an alumni, Phil Criminale, speaking with you today, as well as Gigi Wang, who is a industry fellow here at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Tech. And we have Ava Vischer-Simon, who's our senior program manager, and she will be moderating the sessions for the upcoming Global Online.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Lovely to see you. And we're going to turn it over to Gigi and Phil to talk today to you a little bit about the program and from an alum experience.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, Phil. And hello to the audience. We're really excited to have you join us today for us to tell you about our ELPP program. And today we have Phil Criminale, who was one of our star students last year in the fall 2024 session. And let's talk to him, find out what he thought of the program, what he got out of it. So, Phil, thank you for coming, especially since you are on your vacation in Disney World right now with your family. Please tell us, why in the world did you sign up for a semester-long online class after a long day of work?
Hey, Gigi, thanks for having me and allowing me to talk about the ELPP program. The ELPP program, one of the main reasons why I decided to take it, it was an opportunity for growth. It was a program where you basically got to take a mini MBA without having to take, 3 years to take an MBA outside of work, along with allowing, people that were targeted, at least in my company, were people who were slotted for growth. And these are, director to senior director level people who were looking to hopefully be promoted in the company, along with, for my personal reasons, being able to take the ELPP program allowed me as a technical person, as from going from solving just purely technical problems to looking at, again, the larger side of the business and the business side of the company that we work on, along with the ELPP program gives you just access to people who you wouldn't normally be able to talk to outside of your own, working environment. So it's, great for all those reasons.
Fantastic. What were some of the highlights from the global ELPP program? What were some of the things that touched you, really you felt like were aha moments in the program?
So, it's a great class with a great curriculum with respect to you're not just sitting in a class looking at case studies. The case studies that we looked at were fantastic, by the way. Again, we got to talk to, early founders at E-Ink and Netflix, along with a lot of the channel guys at Cisco, which were fantastic. But we also got to talk to other industry experts like Holly, for example, who gave us instruction on how to talk and how to deal with people and how to present ourselves, which was fantastic, along with doing a project that was applicable to applying the skills that we learned with respect to, we have a team project where we got to work with other people that were in the class, not necessarily just with, again, people at your own company, to either do an industry landscape or a startup, which was great. So, it made going to the class fun because of the fact that, again, you were learning, you were getting, again, access to people you wouldn't normally have access to, and you're getting to apply what you learned.
Fantastic. So has ELPP, has it had any impact on you since you took the class? What are do you use the things that you learned, or have you broadened your network?
Well, that's for sure. I mean, particularly with the class that I was in, there were people from applied materials in it, but there were also people from other companies, which was great because, again, you get input that you wouldn't normally be able to see, outside of your own working environment, along with, again, making you reconsider with respect to how you can apply yourself at the company you're at. So, from a networking standpoint, it's really good.
Fantastic. So what would you have any advice for anybody who's considering the program and decides to take it? What is some of your advice for getting the most out of taking ELPP Global?
So again, particularly at Applied, like this program isn't, a mandatory training course that I was, forced to take. This was something that was very prestigious and you had to be recommended for it. And then the person that should be taking it is a person who wants to grow outside of the role that they're in, not just with respect to technically what they're doing, particularly with respect to if you're leading people or looking to grow in an organization, or looking potentially to do a lateral move with respect to, again, going from an engineering role to more of a marketing or more of a people management role. These are all things where you'll get a lot out of the ELPP program, not just understanding how businesses work or business units work, but again, learning just a lot of skills on how to deal with people and teams.
No, fantastic. Well, I really want to thank you for coming, especially since you're on vacation. One last question. Which
Sure.
ride are you going to go on in Disney World today?
I don't know, man. The Guardians of the Galaxy has been a favorite for the family, so we might go check that out there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
All right.
And
Thanks again, Gigi.
We'll stay in touch. Bye,
All
Phil.
right, take care.
So as you're considering this program, you might be asking, why Berkeley? Why Berkeley Engineering Professional Programs? Well, you might not know this, but UC Berkeley College of Engineering and Berkeley as a whole has more venture-backed startups than any university in the world. Also, we have a three-pronged value proposition where our programs, as they're designed, they're academic, they're practical, and they're aspirational. As Phil mentioned, you have people in the program who are actually founders of major companies. We have Mark Tarpering, who's the co-founder of Tesla. He's the protagonist in the Tesla case, and he is featured in this program. So you get a level of exposure that you wouldn't get otherwise. So from engineering to engineering leader, that's why this program was designed by and for engineers, by our most sought after faculty at UC Berkeley College of Engineering. So it's an 18-week part-time global online program from 5 to 8 p.m. every Wednesday night Pacific time. It's for technical professionals who really want to lead innovation entrepreneurship on their teams. So if you're just going from an individual contributor to you're actually a manager, but you want to up your game, this program gives you a business overview. We have modules in accounting, storytelling, leadership, product management. So it really connects the dots for you in all the elements of how organizations are run. So what you'll learn strategic thinking, innovation and tech management, as I had mentioned. You learn to connect the dots from all the various aspects of running a business, from finance and accounting to entrepreneurship, to product management, to storytelling, negotiations, influence, business acumen for engineers, again, connecting all the dots for you. And you'll learn it all while you're learning the Berkeley method of entrepreneurship. As we know, Berkeley is a trendsetter in what happens in the business and engineering world. We're at the cutting edge. So it all happens here, and you'll be getting a front row seat to that. Now that we've heard the impact, it's not magic. It's how we teach and who we bring in. So if any of these things sound like you're in the right place. So who should attend? And how you'll learn. So you'll have the interactive live sessions, the case studies, lectures, you'll have breakout sessions, you'll have team projects, you'll have a small group project, and then the final project and presentations. You'll have mentoring all along the way. And you'll be broadening your connection base, because you'll be put into our rich database with over 1,000 ELPP alums. Now that you've heard the impact, it's not magic, it's how we teach and who we bring in. So, Gigi?
Fantastic. And so maybe I'll come back on and tell you all a little bit more about ELPP, since I've been teaching ELPP since 2017. One of my favorite things about teaching ELPP Global is that we actually have people from all around the world coming in to take this class. And so people who are in this class, they get to interact with other professionals from around the world. We had people from Spain, from China, from Singapore, from India, and then all across the US. And all these people who wanted to advance their careers from being a more technical person to being more strategic. They wanted to develop leadership skills and also understanding of finance and marketing. One of the big elements of BMOE, our approach to teaching that Christina touched upon, is that students learn by doing, not just by working on case studies or listening to people speak, because you can watch YouTube for that. But with our class, there is a lot of hands-on learning. And believe it or not, you can still do it online. We all learned how to teach and learn online during COVID. And so all the students in ELPP will join small group projects. And they get to choose, they get to choose what their team wants to work on. One of the types of projects you can work on is a industry landscape, where you look at something in industry. Like several years ago, a team looked at how the landscape for the pharmaceuticals, for people buying medicines, prescriptions, how the prescription landscape was changing. And very importantly, it's not just a research report. The students have to analyze it and come up with conclusions, and actually make a recommendation. So that's a really good exercise, as if you were going to give a strategic recommendation to your company. Meanwhile, the other type of project the students can choose to work on, the teams can also choose to work on a startup venture idea. And they will come up with an idea, develop a solution, figure out the business model, the business model, the go-to-market, all the finances. And in that sort of project, it's a good opportunity for the students, the ELPP students, to get exposed and get some hands-on experience working on all aspects of the business. And the funny thing is sometimes the students actually love their project so much they continue to work on it and try to make it into a real startup idea with raising money from investors. But the important thing is by working together, you really get to apply what you learn in the lectures and the case studies. And then on top of it, you develop communications and people skills by working with all these other people from around the world. And that's really valuable because so many of the companies that we work in now are cross-cultural, cross-border, and it's a great opportunity to develop some of those cross-cultural skills working with people from around the world. I love ELPP because I get to meet all these people. Many of them know so much more than me, and I, as a professor, get to learn. So anyways, I've seen some of my students grow. One of my students came back and said, wow, I learned how to really communicate, and I just got promoted using the tools that I learned in ELPP. So yes, let's have Christina tell us more about the ELPP learning journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Gigi. So really, if you're considering this class and you're thinking about how to really have a bigger seat at the leadership table, this is for you, because this is the only program in the marketplace that takes you from engineer to leader. So if you've just been promoted into a broader leadership role, you're looking for greater confidence and competence, bigger business fluency to match your tech excellence. So this takes you out of your narrow area of expertise and gives you the connect the dot, broader overview, and learning how to lead big products or global teams and giving you an excellent command of what is required. So who joins ELPP? We have all kinds of participants from Cisco, Yahoo, Apple, Samsung, Twilio, Verizon, Tesla, really a lot of the bigger corporations, and actually also individuals who are thinking about joining bigger organizations. And at the same time, also folks, technical leaders who've worked for many years in large organizations and are thinking like, oh, I might know how to do this better than my company, or I want to really think about forming my own company or organization. So if you're looking to go from engineer to big time leader, having a seat at the table, this would definitely be the program for you. So it really focuses on directors, senior directors of engineering, principal engineers, software architects, systems managers, senior technical leaders. Typically 10 to 25 years of experience or in R&D roles. We've also had people with 7 or 8 years of experience. So we know whether you're coming from more of a startup company where you've done a lot of roles and had greater exposure, or whether you're in a very large global corporate environment. So if the curriculum is something that you feel you'd like to have a bigger dose of, this is definitely the class for you. I will turn it over to Ava, our senior program manager now, who'll be managing this, and she can tell you how to apply moving forward. Ava.
Yes, thank you, Christina. And we also have a question here. I see about, does it also cover decision-making framework for larger corporates? So I want to bring, actually, Christina, do you feel you could answer this question?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
So one of the beauties, there are many beauties of this class, There is a decision-making framework. We have 2 modules of this by Professor Holly Schroet, and it covers everything from not just a decision-making framework, but shadow negotiations, really learning how to influence people on your team who you might have authority over and people outside of that. So it's really all about how to have the conversation. We also learn about having courageous conversations. We learn about storytelling. So it's these rich elements of decision making, negotiations, influence, how to have difficult conversations, and telling your leadership story that brings it all together in a very, very symbiotic way. And yes, we will share a detailed brochure. And I also can't highlight enough for those of you who are outside of the San Francisco Bay Area or are in the San Francisco Bay Area and might be too busy to come to the once a year live program that we hold in the Silicon Valley. This is the only way to get the Silicon Valley learning experience remotely. By really star tech leaders and to have an upfront exposure with these folks. So it really, really is very, very unique.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Christina. Just to highlight again what Gigi and Christina already mentioned is that they're weekly live, so synchronous sessions, and they're on Wednesdays from 5 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So it doesn't work for all time zones, but it works for a large swath, and we have had very diverse cohorts from around the world join us. Some are very eager and join us at 4 a.m. their time, which is quite the feat. It's, what's unique about this program is really the different types of learnings that you get to dive into. And as Gigi talked about, the small group projects and the interactiveness of these sessions, and that you're getting to interact with some of the protagonists from these cases that you're talking about. And the final projects are very unique and really fun and an interesting way, to utilize the learnings that you've gotten the entire time. So just to go into the more practical, details, we do have a discount code for you today for joining us today, and if you're interested in applying. So my colleague has put the link in the chat for the application, and it's a short application, but we do vet everybody, as Phil said, that comes into the program. You're either recommended from your company or come as an individual, and we work with our faculty to look at your application and ensure that it's the right fit, because it is a time commitment, and we want to ensure that people who are joining the program are eager to be there, and we really want an interactive cohort. This is the link again, and it's also in the chat. So just want to let you know that. And just want to check one last time if there's any questions that we've missed. I don't think so, but please feel free to email us at the email listed there, and check us out on the website. And if you have any questions, we're happy to have individual consults as well to see if this really is the right program. Christina, I'm just going to add you to say a last word.
Thank you, Ava. We would absolutely welcome any of your questions, your applications. I'm happy to do individual consults if you're wondering if this program is the best fit for you. We certainly hope that it is. And it really is a very unique opportunity to have a front row view to the Silicon Valley leaders, movers, shakers, have business overview, connecting the dots, making you a more confident and competent engineering leader. We look forward to meeting you.
Christina, sorry, we have one more question that I think is important before we leave. Some examples of the case studies and how it's changed. And I think, Phil spoke to this earlier, but Christina, if you could allude to any of the cases that haven't been talked about yet.
So we have the Tesla case, the e-ink case. We can send you those individually because they're quite in depth, the learning points and what they cover. But I might also mention that the program has anywhere from 1.5 hours to 3 hours of reading and preparation. Of course, that can be covered on weekends, and you have a list of the assignments in advance. But please, we can send you the curriculum for the entire program and the case studies individually.
And I want to address the question that someone asked about an example of students who changed their careers and got promoted and so on. There was one student, I believe he was working for VMware, and he, with what he learned in ELPP, he went and he proposed some projects and got doubly promoted. And then later on, using that, he became the head of IT for Levi Strauss. And it's really fun because he'll ping me whenever he gets a promotion and says, "Hey, guess what? I just moved up and got a new thing." Another set of students who worked on a project together, there was someone from, I think, Applied and someone from Google. And they actually continue to work on their startup idea afterwards and move forward and tried to get some funding. And it was very tough time, so they didn't. But then the person from Google recommended his colleague to come and be hired as his boss at Google. So there's a lot of great relationships being made. So I hope that answered your question. If you have more, you can maybe reach out to us, reach out to Christina, reach out to me on LinkedIn.
We're happy to provide references also.
Yes, absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you so much. There's one question that I will respond to individually. So thank you so much for your time and joining us today. And we are so thrilled to start this new cohort. So we look forward to seeing your applications, and we'll see you online. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.